if we're asking our guy to slant inside, we will cheat him down to head up. So if we're bringing a dog off the edge or somebody off the edge, we will, to help him out. If he doesn't have that quick first step, the 45 vert that Coach Cabral talked about, we will go ahead and slide him in head up. Gaps defense, this is more of our goal line package, okay? We're going to get in 9s, okay? Based on it, sometimes situation, we may put him in a 6 technique. We usually play with this, just depending on what they like to run. Against Mississippi Gulf Coast, they really like to run the off-tackle play, power play. We put them down in 6s. Once again, still in that 2-point stance. All right, our linebacker stance. First off, we talk about 2-point stance. Heels are at 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart. We go a little bit wider than shoulder width just to help with false steps, help with crossover steps. We feel like, we can put them in a better position to gain ground with that first step. The bat linebackers should be putting their ball foot up, okay? So if I'm the left bat, I'm going to put my ball foot up. I'm going to go toe to instep, okay? Toe to instep, and I want to get my weight on the toes, okay, of this front foot. Depending on what that defensive end is doing, if he's outside and I'm reading that guard, okay, I want to be ready to fill downhill in that B gap if I need to. Heels are slightly off the ground, weight on the balls of the feet, make sure knees are slightly bent. We're going to go shoulders over knees, knees over toes. We do not want to be sitting back on our heels. We hang our hands. I don't get in a stickler about how they do it. If they want their hands up, that's fine. The one thing I don't want is to put their hands on their knees and lock their legs out. Okay, we want to make sure we're getting good get off each and every play. If their legs are locked out, that's a wasted motion. Solid and under stance or heads. All right, where we're getting down in a 2-point stance, going down on the defensive line, we're still going to get in a 2-point stance. The only difference is, okay, we're going to get our feet a little bit slightly wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to go toe to instep, stagger. Everything stays the same. The only difference is now we're going to get our hands up, ready to play. Okay? We do not want our hands hanging now. If we're on the tight end, we're going to get down in a good stance. We're going to get our eyes locked on that tight end's outside shoulder, get our hands up, ready to play, and use our hands from the start. We want to be able to shoot it from the chest. We do not want to come from the hips. We don't want to hang them. We got to be ready because we're now up on the line of scrimmage. We got a guy that can come off on us, and we got to be ready to play. Stance and starts. We talk about 4 types of get-offs. First off, we talk about downhill shuffle, and we do a lot of drills inside the cage. We got a cage. We'll get all 3 of them up under it. We're going to start out talking about inside running plays that's going to hit in A or B gaps, maybe even C gaps that's downhill at us. We want to make sure we're playing downhill, 45 degrees set to our gap responsibility. Lateral shuffle is when we're backside, plays going away. We got to be shuffled for cutback. We don't want to get caught up in the line of scrimmage, so we're staying a little bit lateral. Our alley run is for outside running plays such as the stretch or the toss. Okay, when we alley run, we're now going to open step. We're going to still keep our shoulders square, and now it's going to be more of a crossover run, still staying square to the line of scrimmage, but playing a little bit faster. And we do blitz get-offs. We're under that cage all the time, watching the ball, giving them their player keys, and making sure we're getting great get-off, we're not false stepping, and we're not late. And then we're going to press each and every time, press to the football. All right. Here's the things that we feel like has kind of helped us a little bit. Our bat reads. Okay, with strong and weak calls. Strong and weak calls. We tell our bats, you have got B-gap responsibility. And remember what we talked about with strong and weak. Our ends are outside. Our nose is going away from wherever the call is. So if it's strong, he's going weak. If it's weak, he's going strong. The bat knows I've got B-gap responsibility. The one thing that we found, a couple years ago is we were ending up with 2 players outside too much. Okay, we had a dog sitting outside, we had an end going outside and a jack stunt, and then our bat was ended up fitting outside of him. We were putting our mic in a bad situation. So we started talking about, okay, let's narrow their reads down a little bit. We were talking about reading a triangle, guard, tackle, near back. Well, we kind of want to simplify it for the bats a little bit. They're going to take a look at that near back, okay, near back to guard. If the flow comes to him, okay, if he gets a down block by the guard, he's going to go ahead and shoot that B gap. He's going to go ahead and shoot the B. So if he gets a down block, Okay, he gets a down block. It's like a down out. All right. His first, he gets the back at him. His eyes go to that guard. When he blocks down, he needs to be shooting that B gap. If he were to get top side pressure by this tackle, he's got to make sure he plays low, pad level, and work with his outside shoulder. Work with his outside shoulder, dipping and ripping through that thing. But back right at him, guard firing out, tackle going out. We're going to go hit this thing like an open door. Okay, so if he were to have ISO or anything like that coming right at him, he's going to meet this guy on his side of the line of scrimmage. All right, his aiming point needs to be the outside hip of the guard. Okay, but this back is his first step. If that guy steps this way, he should be stepping with his inside foot, eyes to that guard. Okay, now the next thing is we talk about an out block. Now lots of times, we feel like we could progress to saying, okay, zone steps, stretch steps, the different blocking schemes. We talk about that kind of thing, but we only got our guys for 2 years, year and a half at the most, and we're trying to, at the least, and we're trying to give them the best possible situation to be productive. Okay, so we talk about the guy going down, we talk about the guy coming out. So if the back comes at him, okay, let's just say it was zone play at us and they were zoning up, the defensive end's outside, he's got to go fit this guy outside right now. We'll let the mic stack this nose, be ready for any cutback, backside bat and dog for any cutback there, in taking care of the quarterback. All right, if we get a pull, okay, back steps at us, we see the guard pull. We tell our guys 99% of the time that guard's going to take you to the play. Okay, he would step with that inside foot right at that guard. As soon as he sees the guard pull, now he kind of goes into his lateral shuffle, attacking the down block. If that guard's pulling away, we're expecting something else coming at us. And what we really got to talk to him about is where's this nose guard going to go? Okay, is this nose guard coming to us? If he's slanting this way, then we've got to be ready for topside pressure coming from a guard over here. If the nose is going this way, we've got to be ready to beat the down block by the center. All right, pull out. Now this is one of the toughest things we ended up having to get right here was, all right, backs at us, we step, we see this guard pull out. We've got to be ready to attack this down block here. If our defensive end, this is what was kind of getting us, if our defensive end was outside and our dog, was ending up outside, not really fitting inside of this end, okay, we were ending up with 3 outside. So what we wanted to do, as soon as we stepped at this guard, we saw him pull this guy block down, we needed to come fit real tight off this tackle. And we wanted to fit inside out on this guy, let the dog go fit outside of him, letting our end contain it. Obviously hi-hats, we're still going to get our run step. We don't want a whole lot of wasted motion. We're going to get that one step that the back gives us. Okay, we get a hi-hat and then we're driving out with the drop. The biggest thing that we probably fight is getting these guys to do it right when it's time to read. We blitz them so much. We get pretty good at our reads and our blitzes and that type of stuff, but when we kind of sit them there and they're responsible for a gap, we've really got to work it over and over again, repping those different looks. All right, slant and whip calls. All right, this is where we got a C-gap responsibility. We know our end's going to go inside. So we're going to stack that in, okay? We know he's going inside. We're still keying the near back. All right, we get flow to us. And that tackle blocks down, okay? We now have our eyes on the tackle. We know our end's going inside. If that tackle blocks down on that end, we want to go ahead and shoot the C with the back coming at us. Shoot the C with the back coming at us. Go ahead and fit tight to it. Know we're going to have a dog outside of us. And usually, if he's reading, we definitely have a dog blitzing off the edge. Okay? Flow to us. We get an out block. We want to collapse the C gap. So we're going to go attack the tackle, attack him with our inside shoulder, keeping our outside arm free, trying to collapse the gap down inside. Use his body to plug up the hole inside, keeping our outside arm free. If we pull in, we get a pull in by the tackle. We're going to shuffle contain, pull out, attack the down, hi-hat, drop. Flow away, we're going to shuffle. Our eyes are going to go to the quarterback. Okay, and our rules state we got to take care of quarterback, cutback, counter, reverse. If we got our D-line slanting to the right and everything, and the flow goes away from us, okay, we got to be ready for anything coming back to us. All right. Talking about shoot the C gap, aiming points the outside hip of the tackle. So as soon as our end goes inside, we see that tackle lock in on him. Okay, back's coming to us. We're going right now. We're going right now, and we're getting our eyes inside for first threat. Okay, now we get back coming at us. We get the end going inside. The guard takes the end. The tackle's coming out. Maybe they're zoning us this way. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. We're going to attack that tackle, collapse the gap, use his body to push it back inside to try to fill this gap inside. Keep our outside arm free, coming off ready to make the tackle. We get the pull in. Okay, we can once again, if we got an end coming inside, then we probably got a dog coming off the edge. We can be patient. We can be patient. We can shuffle contain. Our eyes go back inside for anything coming back this way. So if it's a boot or if it's a quarterback pulling and keeping, coming back this way, or cut back. All right, tackle pulls out. We get some type of stretch play. We get some type of toss play. When I say pull out, it could be just a reach block over and on us. Okay, we're going to work to get to the outside hip of the tackle, try to push everything back inside to the mite. Dog should be setting the edge for us. Once again, high hat, we're going to get that one good run step, then we're going to drive on out, 45, depending on what our responsibilities are. All right, down bat reads. Okay, what we do this is something we work when we get in our four-man front. We're going to get him in that two-point stance. We're going to get him shading the outside shoulder of the tight end. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read that outside shoulder. We see the tight end shoulder or tackle if there's no tight end. We see him block down. We're going to squeeze the down. Okay, so we're going to take our hands and we're going to shoot him right at the outside shoulder of that tackle or tight end right now. He blocks down. I'm going to squeeze that thing down. My eyes go inside for first threat. I'm going to keep my outside arm free. Okay? If the quarterback's the first threat, we know we got to contain, get upfield shoulder. Okay? If we got a guard pulling out to come kick us, okay, we got to be ready to go attack it and keep our outside arm free. Bootlegs in reverse, we'll be responsible for turning them back inside. If the tight end tries to block out on us, we got to shoot our hands, we got to lock him out, we got to try to drive him back down in the gap, collapse that thing. Okay? If that tight end tries to reach us, we're already sitting in a 9 technique, that guy tries to reach us, we're going to shoot our hands outside shoulder, we're going to push, get our hand on his outside shoulder, take that inside, shoot that for the breastplate, go push pull, trying to stay square, pushing that shoulder, trying to keep that thing contained, and go push pull technique on him. We pull in, we're going to squeeze for contain. So if we get our tackle pulling on a counter other way, okay, we're going to go ahead and squeeze, get ready for somebody coming back at us, and get ready to contain upfield. High hat, we got to have great get off, make sure we get a good pass rush. Inside foot should be up, so as soon as he sets high, we're coming off. We're trying to get a good speed rush on them. The one thing we do with our linebackers, we'll send them down during scale when the D-line's doing one-on-one pass rush, and we'll make sure they get some pass rush techniques going too. We really work their hands, being violent. Coach Cabral will do a good job with them during scale.
That tight end releases like outside, like he's going out for a pass route. He get a piece of him before he ever gets to the pass rush.
Yeah, we're trying to jam him off the line of scrimmage, and then we'll get a late pass rush on it. But we're trying to get our hands on him. And the biggest thing is we want to take care of the run first, and so that's the big thing. All right, if we're in a down bat, okay, and now we're going to slant him inside. We're bringing somebody off the edge. We want that bat to go inside that tight end or inside that tackle. We're going to step with the inside foot. We got to clear the man in front of us. Okay, with our first step, we're going to take a 45-degree step. We're going to aim at the outside hip of the next lineman inside. And I know it's a little bit different from what Coach Cabral teaches, okay, but the one thing is when we start getting down into a four-man front, we don't get a lot of work at this. And so I want to keep it as simple as possible for them so that they can be productive. So we're going to go ahead and give them an aim and point at that outside hip of the next lineman inside. Okay, we're going to read his block. Second step, we got to get vertical. We got to use a big rip with the outside arm, stay square in the gap. So if we were to slant down inside and that guard was to come at us, now we treat it just like we would if we were at linebacker and we're trying to collapse the gap. We're going to take that thing on, try to drive him back down inside, keeping our outside arm free. Okay, if he were to block down, okay, we're going to look to get vertical in the gap to get penetration. Okay, if we're getting topside pressure, we want to get a big rip with the outside arm and get vertical. Biggest thing is we want to stay square in the gap. We don't want to get washed. We want to make sure we keep gap integrity, helping our guys out. All right, Mike reads. Okay, we talked to him about the nose guard. We talked to him about you got to know where your nose is going to play. If we're in our 3-3, okay, and we're stacked behind the nose, we got to know which A gap is he playing. All right. Now, what we do with the Mike, we read near back to the guard. Now, which guard? Well, it depends on which way that back's stepping. Okay, so if he steps to my left, my eyes are going to go to guard to the left. Okay, now I've got to know, is my nose going to the left? If he's going to the left, then I know I can slow play a little bit. If he's going away, now my read's going to tell me how fast to play. All right, I'm stepping, let's say the back's stepping to my left, guard blocks down, nose is going away. I got to be ready to play fast, play over the top of that down block, be ready to get my hands on that guard, lock him out, hit and shed, rip across, and beat that down block over the top. Okay, if we get an out block by the guard, okay, we get an out block by the guard, run back coming at us, we're going to go ahead and shoot that A gap. Okay, we're going to shoot that A gap. We feel like with the end, the bat, the dog, we got plenty of guys outside, we're going to go ahead and shoot that A gap, try to make a play. If we get a pull in and the nose is going away from us, okay, so we step to the left, guard pulls to the inside. All right, we're going to stack that nose, looking for cutback. Pull out, we're going to attack the down. He's trying to pull out, we're looking for something coming down on us. We're going to attack the down, hat in hands, make sure we're getting over the top. All right, just the down block, just what I talked about earlier. We got the back stepping this way, nose is going away from us. We know we have nobody protecting us right now. Okay, we have nobody protecting us on this guard. We got to be ready to fit, downhill, use our hands, make sure we're getting over the top of this down block. If we end up making everything cut back here, we should have the backside bat, lateral shuffle, getting ready to fit downhill on it. Okay, out blocks, talking about shooting an A gap. Okay. If the guard blocks out, let's just say it was zoned this way, guard zones, center zones, we want to go attack this A gap, we want to shoot the A gap. If he blocks out, the center blocks down or blocks back on this nose, we're going to treat it like an open door. Okay, now you got the free to go ahead and hit that thing. All right, just talking about the pull in here. Okay, he pulls in to the nose where the nose is slanting. We're going to go ahead, we're going to 6-inch power step it with our Mike linebacker. We're not going to get in a hurry. We're just going to sit right here. Okay, we know that if the nose is going this way, we should be getting a double team here with the guard if we're getting a pull. Okay, so we got time to play this thing inside out. Looking for somebody pulling up on us. We got a bat linebacker to pull to fit on the outside of it. Okay, we can also stack if in case it cuts back. We're ready to play the cut back inside out. Okay, we pull out. Okay, we get fast flow that way. We want to attack the down. Okay, attack the down. Looking for something coming back toward us. All right, our blitz technique. All right, first off, we'll start out working on blitz from depth. Okay, we really don't let them start cheating until they get comfortable with the defense. They get comfortable with the calls. We blitz from depth, and then I put in there change up sometimes. Okay, so it's not an all the time rule that you blitz from depth. The Mike linebacker is predominantly going to blitz from depth, or he's going to walk up in the line of scrimmage and set his anchor. But the biggest thing we want to do is to make sure we get comfortable first and learn how to get great get off. Okay, our aiming points, and we talked about this earlier with the blitz package, is always going to be the outside hip of the lineman in the gap. So if it's the A gap, we're going to aim at the outside hip of the center. If it's the B gap, outside hip of the guard. C gap, outside hip of the tackle. If we're blitzing A and B gap, we're taught to spill it, Okay, we're taught to spill it. We're going to attack everything and try to make it bounce to the outside. If we're a C-gap blitzer and we do not have anybody coming outside of us, we know we got to push it back inside. Our dog's going to fit inside of us, and our linebackers are going to be coming inside out. See your blocker to play the block. We always talk about these are the different blocks you can get. Okay, you got to make sure that you defeat the block before you get to the ball. Eyes go to the ball after you destroy the block. Okay, blitz versus the down. Okay, we're aiming at the outside hip of the guard. Let's just say we're B-gap blitzing right now. Okay, this guy tries to get great get off. He aims at his hip. Okay, one of two things can happen here. All right, this guy blocks down. This guy blocks out. We know that something's coming at us. We got to be ready to stay as tight as possible. We're a B-gap player. If something out of the backfield or if a guard is pulling, tackle pulling, we want to go ahead and try to get inside leverage on it and spill that thing out. If the other thing that can happen is this guy blocks down, this guy tries to block down on us, we got to be ready for topside pressure, be ready to rip through with our outside arm. So we'll give them, when we're in practice, we're working our blitz technique, we're going to work these different looks. We're going to work getting topside pressure. We're going to work first threat coming to us out of the backfield. Blitz versus the out. Okay, we're going to talk to them about collapsing the gap, keeping our outside arm free. So if we're aiming at the hip of this guard, as we're blitzing through the B gap, if he's coming out to us, it's our job to attack him. Okay, now I'm not talking about if he's trying to reach or anything like that. We're talking about just coming straight out, trying to block us outside. We're going to attack this guy's outside shoulder. Okay, we're going to keep our outside arm free. We're going to fight pressure with pressure and try to eliminate him into the A gap. Eliminate that B gap by getting penetration. Okay, blitz versus a pull in. All right. The biggest thing we talk about with this is aiming at the hip. If the hip goes down and disappears, we got to stay as tight as possible. When you feel him pull inside, we want to get to the hip and we want to try to get flat down the line of scrimmage. And we talk about when you get flat down the line of scrimmage, we got to be looking for something coming back on us. So we got to get ready now to play with our inside arm. All right. He comes, he pulls inside. We get on that hip. We're getting the hip pocket. We're getting flat down the line of scrimmage. Something coming back at us. We want to turn. We want to face them.